Good morning to all traders and welcome to our daily market insights video provided to you by Orbex. Name is Stavros. Today is 31st of May and the last Friday of the month. We're expecting some weekend flows to kick in, so pay attention to what's happening today. Now, on the fundamental front, political front, I would say, Fed's Clarida looked a little dovish yesterday, and that allowed yields to move all lower as now the chances of a rate cut are increasing. Safe haven yen moved up, and all that while USDJPY recorded a worse than expected quarterly figure. Now, dollar yen is falling, but when looking at dollar CAD, a pair we expect to move today on the country's own GDP figures is rather weak on continued trade war worries. And that, of course, is because it follows the US oil. Now, will the dollar CAD rally continue, or are we going to see a massive correction very soon? We are going to see that in a minute. Before we go into technicals, we expect retail sales in Germany, European GDP in Italy, and then, of course, also the inflation and PPI and German inflation. And the event for the day, the most important, is Canadian GDP on the US side of things. And then we'll get also the PCE inflation from the US. Now, let's jump straight to the charts. I want to chart with the dollar yen 2 hours chart. We've talked about this correction. This is an ABC pattern. And we are most likely going to see prices breaking below 108.5, but this is for the longer term, right? In the medium term, I'm seeing this as an impulse to the downside. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, then wave 4, wave 5. Medium term, I see this as another impulse to the downside. This is the first impulse. We are expecting an ABC correction at some point and then falling below this level. Of course, this is at the level that we want to break for this to be validated. Now, on the indicator side of things, these moves are supported by both RSI and the MACD. Now, if we go a little bit lower, we can have a better look of what we discussed last week as well. So we talked about this impulse to the downside, then we had a correction, a double zigzag pretty much, okay, which actually worked out very well around 110.70 as we have projected, and then impulse to the downside, now ABC correction, and we're looking at prices to going into a second impulse wave to the downside, breaking below the previous low, of course, of 109, and looking at least 108.5 for the short term. Now, when I go also on dollar CAD has been moving up quite a bit over the past few days. Here we have finished also the impulse to the upside in the longer term, and we are expecting now ABC correction down here. Now the question is, where are we going to start seeing bears stepping in? This is a good question. Okay, it could be since we broke above that level, then it could be 136.15. It could be then 135.37 on this chart. Both RSI and MACD do support a bearish move, but I believe we can expect prices to move just a tad a little bit higher for this to happen. Okay, so we're also in a zigzag pattern here with the X down here, and I think that going down here now on the 120 minutes, 2 hours chart, we can see a little bit more of what is happening. So we have the first impulse, correction, impulse, and then this is a correction. We have RX, impulse to the upside, then correction, and then of course we have another impulse to the upside. So what I am expecting to see is another wave 5 up here, okay? That could be the 136.215 since we broke above this level, or if we go to the shorter term, this could be the 135.700 because this is the extension of the first impulse wave for this upside move. And from here is where we can start looking for prices to move lower. We expect the 34.37 to break, and then the trend line, the ascending trend line, we're going to hit the 132.75 and then looking for prices to move even lower than this. We have the MACD confirming a move to the downside up here. But as I said before, I'm expecting another move to the upside for a few more pips. And that is going to give bears a better case for selling. Okay, I want to thank you for being with us for another day. I want to wish everybody to have a very nice weekend. Pay attention to end of week flows. I will recommend that you keep an eye on our blog. It's where we'll cover the latest news, publish trading ideas, and provide all the necessary tools a trader needs.